You, sir, and thank you for your short speech. I'm aware that a number of cabinet colleagues that are here, including the Minister of Youth, Sport, that is a partner to this ministry to make sure that our young people are supported as well. There are other ministries that are here, all have been here, are gone, but closely tied to this ministry, local government. Most of you know why: education, agriculture, green economy, and others. You will see later in the year the package we're going to come up with to support community development. Community development, I almost forgot, and you will see the package that we are going to come up with to build on what we are doing today. And the other cabinet ministers that are here, and provincial ministers, well recognized, members of parliament that are here, alliance partners that are present and are amidst us today, you're welcome and recognized. Certainly the secretary to the cabinet, Mr. Kangwa, and the permanent secretaries that are here in the directly relevant ministries, but as well as other ministries that are present. And indeed, I must say, to recognize the colleague lady that I'm seated with here on the table, the United Nations Resident Coordinator. Thank you, Madam, for really working closely with us in many, many areas. We are a partnership, a true partnership. I also want to recognize the European Union delegate who is here, and other members of the diplomatic corps, cooperating partners that are with us. And later, in a couple of months from now, we'll be visiting you as well to ensure that we develop a matrix of what, on one hand, the government, UPND, New Dawn government, is offering to its citizens, such as what we are doing today. And then we want to marry that with what the cooperating partners, the UN system, the Bretton Woods system, the World Bank, IMF, IFC, and others, European Union, are offering. And for the first time in the history of this country, we want to bring this matrix of opportunities and facilities available to our population and make it easy for our people to say, okay, I can pick that facility here, I can pick the other one there. We'll pull all these things together, never done before, but your government is going to do it. So we recognize all of you, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, I must say, of the city of Lusaka. And at this juncture, I also want to recognize the business community. We can never leave the business community behind in such things. Otherwise, where is the product going to come from for the marketeers to trade? Farmers, we can't leave you. Farmers, producers, manufacturers. Yesterday I was at the ZAM meeting, 11th week, so annual week for the manufacturers. We delivered a similar message as we are going to deliver today. Basically, flip side of the same coin. So we're very deliberate and desirous to make sure that we pull society, community, producers, consumers, traders, transporters together. I know sometimes Zambians don't see the vision until they see it, but soon you will begin to see with your own eyes what we've been talking about for years in opposition and now in government. We're very confident about that. We're pulling things in a methodical way. So I want to also, obviously, the board of CEC, Mr. Kaslimani, thank you if you are here. Thank you for leading this dynamic, renewed CEC board, and the chief executive who spoke very briefly, but very, very direct. And I like direct talk. I think it adds a lot of value. Thank you, sir, for your message. And the Zambia National Association of Marketeers chairperson, thank you for your words there. And the colleague who spoke also from the market and financial or executive side. We really appreciate what you're doing and what you've said. I listened to both of these when they spoke. I was touched, but being touched is one feeling. But taking it in and interpreting what they're saying and how we can support their agenda is more important. I'm one chap who, from a long way back, learned how to manage your feelings and emotions. But take out your emotions by doing what is right for the people. So we appreciate your messages, both of you. And the marketeer booster loan beneficiaries that are present here. It's nice to have you. Let's do your hands. Let's do your hands. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Distinguished invited guests, I also want to acknowledge the musicians that are here. Pande, I believe, musicians from Zambia, my dear friends from Zambia. Bless peace. Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you very much for your presence and the music that you have been producing in such a remote location. But because of technology, we are able to enjoy your music. Thank you to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, the media cannot be forgotten in this issue. A lot has been said. A lot has been said. I know my colleagues in cabinet might wish to go to parliament, so will be expedition. It is such an honor and a privilege for us to witness the launch of this disbursement of the marketeer booster loans. Basically, first, the concept which we talked about when we were in opposition, and to see it in practice now, and to get the beneficiaries having lunch with us, and also the disbursement starting today through an electronic media, mobile money. Fantastic. Fantastic. So today is both really a statement and demonstration of our enduring commitment to serve you, the Zambian people, by creating tangible opportunities aimed at economically empowering not one or two or a few, but the greater majority of our people over time. But more importantly, those that have been ignored for years. Yet when we go home for dinner today, the food we cook will have taken it out of the market. But we ignored for many years those that made the trade possible between the producers, farmers, and others, manufacturers. Through the market, through those people, we are able to feed our families every single day. Thank you so much to you, the marketeers. We are doing it for the market booster loans or facility as we have done it for free education. Many did not believe us. Many called us names. We delivered free education earlier than others thought, given the difficult treasury conditions that we inherited. As we delivered and continue to refine the enhanced constituency development fund, today we are very pleased to be sitting here launching this facility, touching the ordinary lives of homes in our communities. There's nothing more pleasurable than what we're doing today. Recruiting teachers, yes, we did it. 30,000 plus. But these are people who went to college, universities. Recruiting medical staff, yes, we did it. But these are again people who are ordinarily called upper members. In other words, in my days as an undergraduate student, we used to call them the sum of us. The sum of us. Those who spoke English and thought they were different from the rest of the population. But today, we are touching the people that really are at the grassroots. Again, it's a fantastic day. It's a fantastic day. The marketeer booster loan has the tenure, at least for now, I'm informed of 6 months. 6 months. This is working capital. This is liquidity. and it has no interest. Imagine. No interest. Basically, it's even better, far much better than the Chilimba. But taking the concept of Chilimba, you take some money, you retain it after a while. And I think 6 months is a period that was agreed that is reasonable enough to allow the marketeer to turn over this money and then retain the profit and pay back the same amount so we can lend to someone else. Remember, there's a deficit we've had in billions. This is another way of creating a revolving fund so that we can reach out to more people. Nothing better than that. Certainly, this money is nowhere near, and I know in the compounds there are angry people called Kalova sharks. Those who were giving Kalova with huge interest rates. They can turn to other customers. These customers are taken now. But we love them too, because they provided some liquidity when there was done. So we love them too. We actually have a plan for them so that we can evolve them into micro-financial institutions who are organized, who we may also find a credit line for. I'm saying may. This is the Queen's language. I'm using the words carefully so that my adversaries, our adversaries, do not latch on that. But all we're saying is that we're taking care of different segments of our population as need dictates. The importance of every policy measure we are taking for us, including this one being unveiled today, is to accelerate, that's the reason, our national economic reconstruction and transformation agenda. For what? For livelihoods, to fight poverty, to create jobs. I can assure you, today's facility, Minister, thank you for making this day possible. Out of today's facility, those marketeers will keep the job of one or two of the people working for them, who may have lost their job. Some of them will employ an extra person, and that's small business. This is the issue. This is the vision that you elected us to do or to deliver in office. You're looking for it, this is it, for this segment of our community. Because I hear debates, the church is saying vision, vision. What is vision? There are many. Many. So we are simply plugging in bits and pieces in the jigsaw puzzle of our economic reconstruction program. And jobs, as I've said, fighting poverty. And this is important, having taken the burden away from these marketeers of paying school fees every January. We took away that burden. We didn't end there. The exams are on now. And most parents were wondering where they will get the exam fees. And this government says that burden will take away from the parents. The government paid exam fees straight to the examinations council. This appears to be simple. It's a little bit complicated. You have to work behind the scenes to make it happen. When it happens, please realize some people have been working on it behind the scenes. But the important issue is now that this facility will allow the marketeers not to extract payments, costs such as school fees, costs such as examination fees. They can retain that money in their business as working capital and grow their businesses. This is it. So we are very delighted, Minister, and CEC board, and indeed Chief Executive, Madam UN President Coordinator. We've been chatting here on the table. I like extracting some value from people I'm sitting with, and we shared quite a couple of things right here on the table. And I will say something just a little bit now to expose our private conversation in the public, but it's not in a bad way. So we recognize the challenge of lack of access to equitable and regular available finance. We do recognize it. And when it's available, it's too expensive. I think you have heard me say, this is an agenda I've taken to the UN General Assembly. It's an agenda I've taken to the African Union table. As a new kid on the block, I can afford to do that. As a newer president, I can afford to challenge the status quo that has been obtaining in these private meetings of presidents and leaders of the world. Taking this agenda to study. Why should Africa, why should our marketeers, why should our business people in Zambia, in another country, Kenya, elsewhere, Africa, why should we pay more for the same dollar? When Europe borrows like we borrow, and they pay probably 3%, 4%. We, when we want to access financing, global financing, we pay 10, 11%. Please come up. What's the issue? That's the agenda. The issue that we can now begin to put on the agenda of the global community so Africa can take its place as a country which is developing. After all, that's the remaining franchise. But here's the connection. We lobbying for fairly priced financing. When we get these credit lines, please watch my statement at COP27. I was addressing participants, Zambian participants at that COP. I said, you are here for something. You just can't come to COP here in this Egyptian city and walk away with nothing. Let's extract value. Part of that value is financing. And I said to the financial institutions that were there, including Mukwandi, MDO, I said, Mukwandi, when we lobby for cheaper lines of credit, we want you to bring that money home, take it home, and lower the interest to the borrowers, because we've been able to reduce your cost of that money ourselves. That's the story. When you say Bali Kucharo, that's what we do when we are out there. So now we realize that this category may not still be able to access that credit, that financing, even as the interest rate is lower, but still high. That is why such a facility, Minister, and using for us taxpayers' money is well supported, and we're not ending here. This is just the beginning. We have great plans. I was telling this lady here, sometimes I wished I was 30 years old, so I could see this country unfold and become a different country in a couple of years from now. As long as we work together, and we work together fairly. So, this occasion, therefore, is really proof to many that our intent, our vision is not to play with words. We say it in words to make people know what we intend to do. But behind the words is to deliver, like we've done today, like we've done for free education, CDM, like we've done for meal allowances for students. It was like words, but now the meal allowances are there. So this is really the way we work. This is how we place our vision as a government. That's why we sought public office. No other reason but to do things like this. We are men and women on a mission to make this country better. Our commitment is to prioritize inclusion, equitable treatment, fair treatment. Yes, teachers we employ, but what about marketeers? I won't say much here. I've been discussing with this cluster of ministers, local government, youth and sport, community development, agriculture, education, green economy, SME, and others, that this year, our second year in office, today we've done 1 year, 2 months, and about 21 days, 20 days in office. So this second year in office is to unlock challenges that inhibit opportunities to people such as marketeers. to welders, to saloon operators, to barber shop owners, to airtime sellers. Sibantu bebe? Sibantu bebe? Sibuti banati bote? So this our second year in office is to unlock rigidities that stand in the way of those people feeling the presence of their government in their locality across the 10 provinces of Zambia. These are not words. They are words to make you hear. But behind these words, these ministries, we are talking to say, this government must be felt by different segments of our citizenry across the country in the manner that they recognize. We've sent some young people to do some training under CDF for carpentry, isn't it? Yes. Welding, plumbing. This is the year now we are going to use them to make more school desks for us. CEC, that's where you come in. Minister Small, that's where you come in. That's where we come in. Any school we are constructing in that constituency, the bricklayer should be one of those that we train under this CDF facility. It does not matter who the contractor is. The contractor will be obligated to use the local bricklayer. I hope you can see the connection there. We were talking here about outgrower schemes. You can do it in dairy. You can do it in beef production. You can do it in many other sectors. We just need to tinkle our minds a little bit. God gave us deep brains. We're not even using a quarter of our brains. Let's use just a quarter, close to a quarter of our brains. And we'll be able to assist our people. We who are in big offices, we must be thinking of these marketeers every day. How are those people working? So, here is the gossip we had with Madam here, UN President Coordinator. As Mr. Mungule was talking about the deficit, we said, right, we must find a way of closing that deficit. One of the ways, I think we said 9.5 billion. 9.8 billion, because we've only got 200 million, isn't it? 365. You got the numbers wrong. If it's 365, then it's 9.6. Not to worry about that. So now, we were chatting here, we said, we can raise that money. We don't have to have the cash now. We can raise it many ways. One of those ways is as the loanees pay back, we'll roll it back. Another way is for us now to look at other facilities we have in these cluster ministries I talked about and bring those facilities to be known by the marketeers and compare that with what they need. And then we'll be able to leverage on this fund, on the other funds we already have. They're already in the budget. Are we together? Then next, I said to her, Madam, we want to visit you to see what you offer as a UN system, as the World Bank. She quickly said, Mr. President, World Bank. I said, no, even you. So, UN system, World Bank, cooperating partners. Where's the EU delegate here? Is he gone? EU delegate, Ambassador EU, our cooperating partners, we just do a quick check of what they're doing and try and connect that to the needs of that deficit. And we'll be somewhere. And then, as we grow the economy, as we bottom up the economy, we'll be able to allocate a bit more resources directly from our budget. We'll be good to go. We'll be good to go. So, mwisagamana yo, ba marketeer, mwinenuka, mukose, mulimbe, namuzume. That is the issue. And I think by working together, we can achieve a lot more. Greater than even our own imaginations drive us into. One component is the private sector. What's the private sector doing? We want to know. We want to know through the manufacturers, through the banking system. What are they doing? What facilities can we put together? Tailor-make them, alter them to the needs of our people. You'll be surprised how you can create value from zero. I always argue to people, no one gets born with money. We are all born exactly the same. It's what we do with it ourselves that makes a difference. No question about it. That is the issue here. That's what your government stands here to do, Mr. Minister Small. I'm sure his ears are banging. He's tired. Every time we meet, I said, Mr. Minister Small, we can do more. We can do more. I call him that minister, Elvis. Minister Elvis. The Minister Elvis, we can do more. My cabinet colleagues get irritated a little bit, I can see, because I'm pedantic. I keep pushing the same point until I see things are happening. We can do it. Private sector, banks, others, farmers, we can work together to leverage on that fund. Skills development. I like what I heard from one of the speeches from the associations. Skills development is crucial. Education is crucial. Yesterday, I have seen the newspapers have angled my story a little bit different. I said we must change our curricula. Minister of Education was there. You can't be teaching the same subjects to our students, same subjects 50 years back. Who are you teaching those subjects for? Who, for what? The market conditions have changed. And I suggested that a lot of educated people in this country, some of them don't even have basic financial literacy. They can't even give you what I can't call it a cash flow, because that's complicated. Just income and expenditure. You ask them, how do you spend money in your home? I'm not sure. So how can you save if you don't know how to account for your revenue and for your expenditure? And a lot of ourselves who have masters like me, first degree, masters, PhD, many of them have no financial literacy to give you a presentation of income and expenditure. So how can you run a business? Okay, you employ an accountant, but you bet you'll be cheated along the way. You need to have basic understanding. So yesterday I was saying, let's change the curriculum. Let's allow financial literacy to come in our schools at an early age, so that marketeers, others can basically do their own, on a hardcover book, daily sales, daily expenditure. And I was very pleased to hear that statement from my colleague who spoke. But the media is saying HH ridicules PhD holders. I didn't mean that. Please, give me a break. I meant it's important to include financial literature in our curriculum. I say the second thing. I say, and I repeat it, it's relevant. We need to include in our training programs a situation where we should not be judged by mathematics and how we speak the Queen's language. If a kid is good in plumbing, in metalwork, in carpentry, you identify that area. Don't call them failures because they didn't pass mathematics. Allow them to move in that area. Allow them to move in that area and support them. Minister Small, Minister Youth, that's the message. Minister Education, that's the message. then we'll produce the best plumbers, the best welders, the best carpenters, who we need so much in our economy. And these facilities should be there to support them so that they can run their own businesses. And then CDF can employ them, can contract them to do this work. The third thing I said yesterday, and it's relevant, that let us also introduce entrepreneurship training at an early age, so that everybody who goes to school is not expecting after graduating to write 200 application letters and queue for a job. Many should be able to say, after graduating, I'm going to work for myself. Am I making sense to somebody? Yes. What I've said, is that offensive? No. In conclusion, I wish to thank the collaborative support of our cooperating partners. Some of the things I don't want to waste your time to explain. We've been able to change, to alter the way some of the cooperating partners work with the governments. They are now working slightly different from us. Some of them wanted to work only in one way, the way they worked in the last 10 years. And we said to them, this way has destroyed the economy. Can we work differently? And they've been flexible. I want to thank them for that. I also want to thank the business community, all of you, for agreeing to work with the marketeers, for providing equipment to marketeers. I hear the CEC will be signing MOU very soon with one of the colleagues seated here. I saw him, our old friend, Ashok Oz. Please stand up a little bit. He's a senior citizen. Clap for him. Saro Agri Equipment. This man has withstood the difficult challenges of doing business in this economy for many years. I've seen him. I used to go to his shop as a student at Kunza. Then I graduated, then I became a farmer, then I began to buy tractors from him. Resilience. And today, such people are willing to support the marketeers, are willing to support small-scale enterprises, and giving them the equipment, appropriate equipment, as necessary. I think this is the partnership we need. Yesterday, I was saying at the ZAM Manufacturers Week, I said to Trade Kings, you are big manufacturers. We love you. You've done very well. But you shouldn't be thinking of doing everything yourself. Some of the processes in your manufacturing can be handled by small-scale guys, and then they sell to you. There's a ready market. You provide the market, you provide the know-how, you provide the quality control, and you grow what you produce faster. But you pull the small businesses along. Fantastic, isn't it? We'll be working on that going forward. So thank you to the business community. We also want to say to the marketeers associations, to small businesses, to small corporates, to political party members, including UPND, we told you register cooperative, you say, chances from a cooperative. If you are Nibacha, come on board. Don't wait for Tantamene. Tantamene destroyed our economy. If you queue for money, you should ask yourself, where is that money coming from? There's no free money. That money was coming from your treasury. That's why your economy went down from 7% to minus 2.8%. Simple. You don't have to be an economist to understand. Simple. You extract money from the system, you don't produce, you just hand it over. Then people buy BMWs, they buy things, they put mattress, they stick in cash there, and they're proudly calling media to say, come the way I am, I'm rich. Come and see me, I'm rich. You see this guy, it doesn't work. You have begun to destroy the culture of our young people, the work ethic, that you can be rich without working. We must start working in this country. Work culture. So thank you to the associations. Let's continue working together. I'm also pleased that your association And this association, which was killed by those in government before, which we are allowed to come back, now today they can work with yourselves as associations doing different things, supporting the same clients. This is what we want to see in our country. That's what we want to see. So that's what it is. So to the beneficiaries, please use your money properly. Don't consume it. Don't consume it. Use it to buy more merchandise, then sell that merchandise. Make a profit. When 6 months is up, pay back the principal. No interest. Keep the profit. Continue growing. Next time you can come and borrow a lot more. We'll ask this CEC to increase the threshold so that they can also give a bit more money to those businesses that are growing. But for you to get more money second round, you must do well in the first round by paying back what you've got. I think that's a decency we expect. That's a contract out of character, out of human decency we expect from all of it. So that the next person can also get a benefit. Then we can go on. Let me say something here. Please, political parties, UPND included, your members, you, our members are free to trade in the markets. All of our citizens are free to own a shop in the market. Not the way it was, that shops were owned by only cadres of one political party. Market stores must be available to Zambian citizens and others. You are free to trade there. You are free. Because some have been told that no, the president doesn't want you to trade in the market. That is not true. When you let's not distort things. What we don't want in that market is to levy other marketeers taxes that are not appropriate, levies amounts that are not acceptable, other than council fees. That's what we don't want. Secondly, we don't want violence in the markets. That's all. That's all. Whether in the market, or in a bus stop, or dragging a nurse from the ward because she did not give you Panadol, you drag her out and beat her out. That, no. And we love you so much, but we want law and order so we can do business freely. Masiko ya numuma ziendelea, kulipa mena kumenya, sichabwino cho. Sichabwino cho. Let's move forward. Let's not return to those dark days. That's all I wanted to clarify. Otherwise, we love you. We think about you. Think about your children, which we do. That's why we say free education. Abana banshiwa, abana babafina, conception. Actually, I want you to be the captains. I give you that job. Check the household where the children are not going to school. Muende mufunze why mwana usaide to school. Nijani. That's the work you should do in the communities. So that's the love we have for you. It is now my honor, really, really honor and privilege to officially launch the commencement of disbursement of the marketeer booster loans for the good of our people across the country. This scheme is officially launched. May God bless you. God bless and instill a sense of honesty in you and all of us, fairness, love for each other. But more important, hard work. Work after work and more work. Not the party after party. Work after work and more work. Replace it with the party after party. No. I thank you for your kind attention. Thank you.
Let's all join in giving another round of applause to the President. Indeed, sir, your message is loud and clear. And I do believe, please be seated, I do believe that all those, as the Bible says, let he who has ears, indeed. Well, Mr. President, it is time. The moment has come. Now, before I'm misunderstood, I did not say the hour. I said the moment has come. There's a fundamental difference there. The moment has come for the presentation, indeed, of the booster loans to those that are supposed to receive. Now, we're going to do this in two different exercises. The first one, we will present one check which bears the entire amount, the entire allocation towards the marketeer booster loans, which is 171.5 million kwacha. That's the first one. And then secondly, we're going to have certain people who have been chosen, even for the receipt of the first check. There's some people that have been asked to come and receive it on behalf of all the marketeers countrywide. And then the second one, the second exercise now, we will give dummy checks, individual checks to the amount of 5,000 to 10 marketeers who, like I said, are representing everybody else